I'm going to call tonight's meeting of the town board to order, and we can start. If everyone could please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sharon, welcome to solo duty back there. Could you please call the roll?
Councilmember John Casey,
Present.
Council Member Terrence Fennelly,
Present.
Deputy Supervisor Adeline Rudolph,
Present.
Councilmember David Sauter,
Present.
Supervisor Jared Simpson.
Jared Simpson is necessarily absent. And can you also confirm that the meeting was properly advertised?
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Is the binder down here for the written communications binder? No, I don't.
Want me to grab it?
I don't know if folks want to see it. We usually have it, but it's
I
okay.
know, I forgot.
We also have our most recent correspondence in attachment 1 of the agenda, which there are extra agendas over there if anybody's new. We start the meeting tonight then with our first privilege of the floor, which is a moment for the public to speak. If you're here about our public hearing, tonight's public hearing is about overriding the tax levy limit. If you hear about that, it's best to speak about that during the actual public hearing as opposed to privilege of the floor. But knowing that, is there anybody, Karen Parkers, would you like to speak?
Could you please move that so I can see the entire town board while you're talking?
Sure, Jen, you have it.
Thank you.
Would anyone like to speak in the first privilege of the floor? Anyone online? See anybody in the chat or anything? Okay. Seeing no hands, we'll move on to priority business. Priority business this month, I've just got birthdays for Eric Oppenauer, Andrew Corino, and Bob Hilliard. Happy birthday. There are no presentations this evening on the agenda. So we'll just, and there's no continued public hearing, so we'll just start the first public hearing. A public hearing on the proposed adoption of a local law that will override the tax levy limit established in General Municipal Law 3C. And Attorney Adler, could you just explain a little bit why we do this every year?
Yes, as you said, the town does this every year that I've been town attorney and many years prior to that. New York State requires a town to override its tax cap if there's any chance that any of the town's taxing authorities might exceed the tax cap. And they require that, I believe, by the end of August. The problem is the town doesn't know what the budget for each taxing authority it governs, including each special district. Doesn't have the budget process done, and I don't think we even know what the tax cap will be this year. The base floor is 2%, and then it fluctuates based on inflation. And the New York State Comptroller's Office provides the tax cap each year, but I don't think we have it yet. The town, my understanding is, the town has absolutely no intention to exceed the tax cap this year, just as it has managed to not exceed the tax cap in years previous. The town does this every year, and then it turns out to be irrelevant because the town does not exceed the tax cap. But if we don't pass this resolution in this local law, the town won't have the ability to exceed the tax cap for any of the special districts in the town if there's a budget.
We had just one little correction. We have had some special districts exceed the tax cap in the past, but not the overall town
Good
tax
point.
rate, so. Okay, would anybody like to speak about the tax levy limit? Feel free to come over and state your name, address would be great for the record, and
I'm Bob Rich, 3474 Hickox Road, town of Canandaigua. So I guess, excuse me for being naive and ignorant too, but shouldn't this take place after we have a budget and a cap?
Absolutely, it should. I agree.
Well, how come it's not?
The law requires that if there's any chance you're going to exceed the tax cap, that you pass a local law authorizing the town to exceed the tax cap by the end of August. budget isn't done until October. It's just the way the town, this. New
Maybe
York
we
State-
should be having a resolution about getting the, getting that in order.
It's not the town's decision, it's New York State law.
No, I mean, to get our budget done sooner then, to meet that requirement.
Our budget process is governed by New York State law.
Okay.
And there's a specific starting date for the budget process.
Excuse my ignorance. I got it.
No, I'm sorry.
I
was just
think
trying to
too
explain it to
simple.
you.
I think too simple like
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
I would love if it made more sense. I think all of us would love. if it
Have
made a
you no
little bit more
power to,
sense.
have you no power to try to forward something like
It's-
that?
I think it's something that New York State likes to do, to indicate that they're trying to keep taxes low, but
They
it's.
don't mean it?
It's almost every municipality has to do this across the state because we don't know where we're gonna be at. There is a preliminary budget that's been created. At this point, it's not finished yet, but it will be out. Do we know the date that goes out? Pretty soon. It's gonna be coming out in beginning of
September.
September, I think it is.
Yeah, in September, you have to be careful because as Chris was pointing out, there are a lot of unknowns at this point in time. The state, if you do exceed the tax cap, the penalties can be rather severe. So not knowing any of this information, it only makes sense to override the thing now. We usually have a resolution late spring, once everything's settled. Once we know what the final numbers were for the year, we do an audit in early spring to confirm the numbers from 2024. Then we override the override and, say that we're gonna be compliant. But the state can change the rules at any point in time. So it's very important to take this on and do this because we just don't know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of us that don't really trust the state.
How is the decision made whether or not we will,
Wonder what?
whether or not we will override?
We always override it.
Who-
No, no,
How
no.
is the decision made?
Whether or not our taxes will be going up, so.
No. Whether or not this proposal is approved.
We'll be voting on it.
We'll vote on it tonight.
You will vote on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We will not vote on it.
There's a
Right.
resolution on the.
Gotcha. Then the other question I guess I have is, so if you override it today, which dollars to donuts, you're gonna, does that carry over for next year or you must do it again next year?
Do it every
year.
Must do it again next year. Okay, well, I have no more questions and,
I-
the only thing I would recommend is that we think of things a little simpler and, yeah, I mean, why have a cap, New York State, if you can override it and get around any repercussions of it,
Agreed.
number one. Number two, shouldn't we synchronize a little bit?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you
Sure.
for your time.
I will say too, if you're interested in the budget, we are gonna have a number of public hearings on the budget. Once the preliminary budget is out, they're all open to the public. We anticipate having the public here and sharing conversations about what you would like in, what you'd like out, where the rate is. We work very hard to try and keep that rate as low as possible on a consistent basis. There's different pressures every year for getting projects done, be it highway, water, staffing concerns, what have you. So, but that's, all those hearings are open to the public, and that's when we really can use a lot of input about what's important to you and all of your neighbors about what to have in the budget. So that'll be during September and October. So you'll see releases coming out from the town about all of the budget hearings and the meetings where we're gonna be talking about the budget as well. So hope that answers your question.
Will be decided long before that, done.
The what? I'm sorry.
This resolution will be decided.
Yeah.
before it will pass, long-
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ann Foster, 4065 on Olinda. Is there any cap to the uncapping? Like if we say, well, we really don't want you guys to lift the cap and have that availability, but you guys decide that it is going to be lifted, is there any ceiling on how much you could go over budget?
No,
So if we say yes, sky's the limit.
yes.
We would not, that would
But
not be.
historically, it
In
has not.
any
been.
of our,
It's not
we're
been.
all taxpayers in the town of Canandaigua as
Right.
well. I mean, none of us would want to have a huge tax increase either, so that's why we're here.
Yeah, but we all got higher appraisals last year and we all were here for votes on the supervisors increase and other raises that happened and lots of people voiced negativity to all of that and it still all went through.
Now, there were a lot of changes last year. We reduced a lot of requests last year too, and I mean, my taxes actually went down last year, so.
Pretty amazing. Okay, well,
Mine went down.
yeah. and
My assessment went up 200,000, but my taxes went down.
Maybe we could vote this year for next year, so you'd have a better reach of where you stood, you know, instead of always doing it past and backwards.
Oh.
You know,
Would anyone else like to speak? Anyone online? Did you see anything? Anyone on the board want to speak about this right now, or you just want to speak when we talk about the resolution? Okay, then I'll call this public hearing closed. Let's move on to the reports of town officials and department heads. Jim, did you have anything else you wanted to share beyond what's in the agenda? I don't see. Michelle. Our assessor's not on. Our historian's not on. Any new news from the town clerk's office at all, Jim? It's not already in the report?
Yeah, it's already good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah? She is on. Sarah, did you share anything?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, no, just one note for the town board is that my report this month is multiple months. Not just one, but everything I would have shared is in there, so I don't have anything additional for you.
We might ask you questions later if you're still hanging out.
I'll be here.
Okay, great, thanks. Lindsay, anything human resources or parks?
It's like from John. Started, our new town manager.
Yes, we mentioned that last month. We have our new town manager, John Falbo, here tonight. From the supervisor, Supervisor Simpson didn't have anything additional to share other than the included attachments in attachment number 2. Attorney Nadler, there was something you had talked about that you said we could talk about there or later in the other business later. Okay. Okay. Reports of the town board standing committees. I'm the finance chair, nothing further than what was already in our minutes. Terry, PPW, did you want to share?
No, we
anything?
didn't have a meeting last month. Due to everybody except me being on vacation.
I wasn't on vacation.
I'm retired, so I'm always on vacation.
Um,
We will be meeting this month, or September, I should say.
Oh,
6 and 13.
which you were reminding me, we did do a public announcement at the finance committee meeting, just, I assume everybody's aware, but we did move the date up a week so that we could have our finance clerk available. It's on Thursday, September 5th at 4 p.m. and it's going to be in is it the Ganundaga conference room that's in the PPW room over there in the highway barn? You don't say the Ganundaga? Well, that's where it'll be. And they're gonna, at 4 p.m. Yep, and they're gonna be moving the same date they were to 4 p.m. for the rest of the year. So, because we did pick up a new member of the community who wanted to be on the board, so. Dave, anything further from ordinance?
We're just looking at minimum house size, unsafe structures, floodplain review, bisected lots, and form-based code. And the meeting will be September 9th at 9. So 999.
It's so cool. Do you know where you're gonna be?
I don't.
We're kind of moving everything out of, you could probably still be where you were, because I
I think
don't,
so.
nothing's really happening now until after September, right, Jim?
I don't believe so. It's just part of moving some people sooner than later.
Do you think he'll be okay on the 9th of September over there?
Yeah.
Next Monday.
Yeah. All right, so you can just go on that. All right. All right. Next, I have another privilege of the floor. Anybody want to speak during the next privilege of the floor? Anyone online? Okay, That moves us right into our resolutions. Okay, first resolution, resolution 207, acknowledgement and authorization of budget transfers by the town supervisor.
Move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 208, approving an easement agreement with Thomas H. Herman related to the real property located on Middle Cheshire Road, tax ID number 140 and change, that will allow the town to install and maintain a swale and terrace system to reduce erosion.
Move.
Second.
Might want to describe. that.
Yes, I was gonna say,
And I know
maybe,
that you're probably here for that.
maybe, so Jim and or Kevin, if you could just explain a little bit about what that's
Pointing at each
happening
other.
there?
South of where Terry Finelli lives, on the east side of Middle Cheshire Road. There's a 30-acre field that has been an ongoing issue for the past 2 years. With soil and water erosion coming to Wells Curtis Road, overwhelming the stormwater system. We have Kevin and I spoke with the property owner, Mr. Herman. He's allowing us to create a wide but low berm to cut off a little more than half of the property and divert it to the west into the ditch along the road, which will then enter into two 48-inch pipes that go to 19th Gully. By doing so, this will reduce the runoff that goes down Wells Curtis Road and also the runoff on West Side Road. And also, we're going back to a grass alfalfa. It will stay that way hopefully for the next 10 years as a grass field and not go back to, I'll say, corn, soybeans of that factor, so you'll have the runoff of mud and stuff that's coming.
Okay. Kevin, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop up here.
That's always helpful for
All right.
the poor clerks. I have to type all this
There
stuff
is
in.
any attachments.
Is
Yeah,
the
showing
the maps on there? Okay, yeah, if it could be pulled up, that's
Actually,
great.
Sue, could you pull up the map from attachment 4 or no, 5, attachment 5?
So as we're pulling up the map here, maybe just, big picture also on this. We're developing a network of partnerships with about 4 or 5 of the landowners.
Too far in.
There we go. In this overall area, we've got another meeting tomorrow morning with one of the landowners that's north on Middle Cheshire Road a little bit. This whole drainage system has had a series of issues with major phosphorus, major sediment load, erosion coming off a series of fields. And what we've been doing is working with a series of landowners in through there to, and we've got private funding coming in to help us from through the Watershed Council to get commitment to cost share the seed. That we're gonna change over 100+ acres of field that is currently corn right now that's highly erodible to a hay-based system in there. And the commitment from the farmer has been tremendous also on this. So it's been a good partnership on making this happen. So we are bringing flow to Middle Cheshire Road, but the field is going to go from corn to hay. So we're actually going to be able to reduce runoff rates by 30-40% at least, and erosion rates probably by 50 to 70%. So sediment load reductions, tremendous there you go. Yep. Yeah. So right in that area, that field is it's actually,
Kirby Road, it's not labeled, that's Wells Curtis, and the straight north-south road there is Middle Cheshire.
yes. Yep. So what we're looking to do, the long green box is that maintenance agreement area to basically install and then maintain a very low base swale system through there that will actually provide a lot of storage. And I can send you along some pictures. What we get, the erosion channels that are forming above this as was going to be a cornfield. It ended up going, he didn't get the crops in time because it was too many storms had come in. and he just missed the window of opportunity to plant. But the erosion channels, and Jim has had, and his crew, they've had to use snow plows on at least 3 occasions now on Wells Curtis Road to scrape the mud that was just pouring over kind of down through the off that field and onto Wells Curtis Road. It also is impacting the neighbors through there as well, very substantially. But from a, we got to think balancing public interest and private benefit. In this case, there's a major public interest in doing the work out there, and it should be a very low cost approach. We've got the hydro seeder we'll be able to utilize with the grant funding that we got on that aspect. It's a great grass growing season right now to get this installed. And then the farmer, we're going to cost share purchasing the hay out there, and the farmer is going to sign on to a commitment letter that he's going to keep that field as a hay field as long as he's farming that land. So we're going to cost share that. So then that gives us, some good, reasonable benefits from that perspective, and it's going to be a very low cost to do this. The field on the west side also has interest in approaching it this way, same farmer. And then north off of the screen on this, there's there's a large farm field that they're also going to convert to a hay field, and all of that is draining south towards Wells Curtis Road. So we're going to be able to massively reduce the erosion, the runoff coming from this area at a very low cost. So it's a cool partnership with multiple landowners. The other thing is we're going to be doing the same thing and have more of a permanent easement is what we're looking to do on Foster Road. We just met with the Redemptionist fathers in that area, very excited about partnering with us and building, because we've had Foster Road, it's overwhelmed Foster Road on 2 or 3 occasions as well. So we're going to look at a cost share partnership there, along with a permanent easement along the road base to build in a kind of an elongated basin there. And then probably by next meeting, I'm going to bring an easement to you with Chris's help for another project in the Suckerbrook subwatershed, where we have a landowner along 5 and 20 bypass that wants to donate about a half-acre easement towards a water quality and flood storage basin that's right along the bypass. And that flow actually goes down towards the cemetery, Woodlawn Cemetery, and that got beat up really bad during a few of the storms last year. So a lot of stuff going on, but this is a really cool section from Foster Road, and Jim's worked out on Dual Road and some more partnerships hopefully there with the landowners and farmers in that region as well. So we're trying to integrate a lot of these solution areas and then expand that out. So.
Well, thank you, Kevin and Jim, for working hard with the landowners to figure out a solution that helps out here, and many thanks to the farmer too, because he's not asking for compensation for this easement either. So that's very kind of them as well. So.
I'd like to express my gratitude and appreciation to Mr. Herman for allowing this work to move forward.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. The most of those years, I lived just where that blue line, or all the Middle Cheshire Road.
Yeah.
At about 75 feet in front of my house. This is, most years, I've been there 40 years now. Most years it's been hay.
Yeah.
Out there, off and on, corn or soybeans, but when it's been hay, we haven't had a problem out there. Not as severe, but now some of the storms we had are more severe than what we had been accustomed to in the past. But so the area to the south of that greenback, the feeling is that by reducing at 35–40%, whatever, that will keep those houses safe from.
Yeah, so we're cutting off half the drainage area that's going down to those
So it's
houses.
still gonna go to the ditch
Yeah,
and then on down, so.
correct. But it's gonna be a hay field instead of either corn or nothing, so that's huge. And then upstream of that, this is where the big bang for the buck is also. One of the landowners up there is also committed, it's the large cornfield above that area, is committed to going to a hay field. The farmer also is committed to going to a hay field. So we're gonna get massive runoff reductions from that as well. So that's what we tried to really look at this thing. It's not just gonna be one type of solution for these extreme storms. It's gotta be kind of a multi-pronged kind of building resiliency and in some cases redundancy a little bit. So you can really solve it from that perspective. So.
Go up the road, has any of that discussion involved any kind of retention?
We're talking. Yes, we're talking. We're trying to persuade, and it's all voluntary, right? So we're trying to convince why it's a good thing, and that might require some compensation to make that happen. So those discussions are happening. But we
All of
all,
that flows in front of my house,
it does.
over
Yeah.
my driveway.
But I can't just think about you.
What's the
Jared. That's right.
Well, another question I have, Kevin, that line the water course
Yes.
is in blue.
Yep.
It is not a blue line.
No, it's
stream.
not a blue line. It's my blue line stream. That's right. Yes, yes, all good.
Sure.
Yes. I should make it. a
For the stream, like.
No,
no,
this all- It feeds down into Menteith.
Sure.
Yes, yeah.
If
So-
we can name it, we'll have to think of you, Jerry.
Maybe while I've got the soapbox right here, just real quick, folks, need to know that we are experiencing some pretty significant blue-green algae blooms, especially on the east side, just based on the prevailing winds, but we are getting some reports on the west side here and there. Very significant. We're seeing some pretty surface streaking out in the middle of the lake as well. So that time of year, it's been dead calm again, hot weather and a lot of runoff, all combined to fuel the blue-green algae issues that we're seeing out there. So it's important for folks to know if they see it, don't go in it, obviously, and to look for, those kind of things. And there's resources to reach out. We can help with that.
I was out in Kershaw all day yesterday, didn't see any.
Yeah,
So Kershaw was good.
yes.
And Lagoon Park didn't have any either, actually. So it's nice. Karen, would you like to
I
speak?
know, yeah, it's not a question
Go
of
ahead.
time, but I was there during this last rainstorm on Wells Curtis Road. And it wasn't just a puddle, it was actually rushing
Yes.
across the road, so.
It's terrible.
My question is, and of course, Terry had a lake in front of his house, and I didn't know there was a lake there, but
Lake Karen.
across on the south side of Wells Curtis Road is that deep gully that goes down to Menteith Creek. So is that water all draining into that gully and
Yes.
going into Menteith Creek?
Yeah. And then
So we'll expect that entrance into the lake to be really brown when there's an
Except
event.
there'll be a hayfield on
The
it.
hayfield.
So the goal really should be, again, Menteith Creek's about 5,000 acres in size.
Yeah.
This is handling about 150, 170 acres, but we have to chunk it. We got to work one at a time to a certain extent and take the opportunities where we get them. So this is going to have a major reduction in both flow and in the material that's coming with that.
Okay, so my question is that going to increase the amount of water in Menteith Creek?
No. This will reduce this because all of this is going to
Okay,
Menteith
the
Creek.
property
Yes.
I'm concerned
Yeah,
about.
yep.
I'm just worried about it washing away some of the creek bed.
Right, yeah, this is gonna have a net substantial reduction on this area's drainage down into Menteith Creek. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, so the motion is open. Can we have a vote on the motion as well? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next one, if I'm in the right spot, is 209. Resolution number 209, take care.
Thanks, Deb.
Authorizing the purchase of a new road tractor.
So moved.
Second.
Jim, did you want to explain a little bit?
Yeah. So this particular piece of equipment has been on the replacement schedule for a number of years. And as with the tax cap, it tends to fall off the radar because it's something that they keep saying, well, we'll make it another year. For the past almost 2 years, the town approved a snowplow truck. I approached the town finance and said we should take what money we have encumbered to purchase a road tractor now that is available. And then budget the balance of this snowplow in 25 to help replace this, because I felt there wasn't a need to carry on this money for 2 years. We could spend it to buy a piece of equipment that we utilize often, not only in normal operations, but for emergency response for when we have floods with the equipment we need. So I brought to the board, they felt it was in the best interest of our fleet and to utilize the funds that we currently have to purchase this road tractor to replace it. So that's why it's on the agenda today.
So essentially, we've been planning to fund for a snowplow for 2 years now. The snowplow has not been available, won't be available until next year.
It's
So-
summer of next year.
So we're using that money to purchase something that is available now, and then we will use the money for that was intended for that to purchase the snowplow next year. Okay. Any questions from anybody on the board on that?
I just point out that it's not a farm tractor, tractors,
No,
tractor,
it's
tractor.
It's a tractor trailer tractor.
So,
Tow the low boy, to tow the flatbed that we have.
John, did you have a question?
Budget line item DA 100.5130.200. I assume has money in it currently to fund this purchase.
there is money currently in that budget, and what we will be doing,
Rather than
The
use it
board.
for,
well, what the board will be doing here, once we receive the invoice. Prior to that, you'll do a budget transfer from the encumbered funds of that PO.
Yep.
And move it over to this capital line to pay for it.
okay? And what happens to the revenue if we get any for the vehicles that we're replacing?
So that vehicle will go to auction. I usually use Teesworth auction. And from there, whatever it sells for, that revenue will go back to the highway fund. And they'll be used to consider a revenue. I don't have a number on what it would bring to 2007, $600,000. I don't think it'll bring a lot. Okay, so.
A lot of metal.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution carries. Okay, resolution 210, resolution to purchase water meters. Can I get a motion to?
So,
Oh, lots of motions. Any discussion from anyone? All in
Yeah.
favor? Oh, sorry.
So I see we're buying what was it, 1,000 of these, right? So what happens to the other 13,000 homes or 12,000 homes that we have in the community? Are they gonna be getting these, and is it gonna be phased over the next 12 years to replace all of these?
So we have been phased, we started 3 years ago.
Okay.
We're in our, this should be the last large sump we have. Not every home has water, we have 3,300 accounts. So we've been trying to do about 1,000 here, and one of the reasons is for the town is, we don't want to be replacing all these again at once in 20 years. So if we, in 20 years from now, so the battery should no longer be working, give or take. The town will not have to do, at that point, just say 5,000 complaints that might be replaced then. And so that's, we have been phasing them, John, for about 1,000 a year for the past 2 years.
Okay.
We're on our 3rd year.
So when are we gonna be done? When are we gonna be complete with it next year?
Next year, we should be darn close to being done.
Okay. And we're funding this through our budget process every year to replace each one of these.
Yes,
Do we charge the customer any fees for replacing these?
no, it comes out of your operation and maintenance cost.
Okay,
You don't have cost that is on your tax bill.
good. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Next motion, 211, setting a public hearing to adopt a local law for volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers exemption and seeker intent to declare lead agency.
So move.
second.
Any discussion? This came out of ordinance, I believe, so. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution 212, setting a public hearing to adopt a local law to rezone a certain parcel from form-based code Route 332 sub-area to R130 and seeker intent to declare lead agency.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, where is this property?
It's the one we've been talking about on Thomas Road. Over there by the, yeah. You good?
by the animal hospital.
Right.
This is where he wants to build his house in the corner of Salmons and Thomas Road.
Yes.
So if you come out 3320,
Right. You
and
want to pull it out of the form-based code and put it in the R one
Yeah.
thirty. Thank you. That answers my question. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution number 213, setting a public hearing on a text code amendment to Town Code Chapter 92, Construction Codes, Uniform to comply with New York State Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code and the New York State Energy Conservation Construction Code, and seeker intent to declare lead agency.
Second.
This is what Mike Murphy brought to us, the Chapter 92. Any further questions on this one?
Yeah, just clarification. So Mike Murphy, Town Code Enforcement Officer, brought this to our attention and asked that we do this so that our code is in alignment with the state uniform code.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep,
Correct.
correct.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution number 214, setting a public hearing on a text code amendment to Town Code Chapters Section 1 through 17 and Section 220-21, and the seeker intent to declare lead agency.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are we excluding the RLD from consideration?
Sarah, I don't know if anybody wants to discuss that, but
The,
this was discussed in the ordinance
I
too. wasn't it?
believe that we're not excluding the RLD, it's that,
Outside of the RLD,
yes, detached private garages are governed specifically in the RLD. And there was ambiguity or question as to detached private garages outside of the RLD. There's a whole section in the RLD about what you can do with a detached private garage.
so the RLD is a separate code from this particular code that deals with everything outside of the RLD. Did I hear you say that correctly?
The detached private garage definition, yes.
Yes,
Yes, because the RLD already has
correct.
regulations about detached private garage. Sarah, is that accurate?
This is just clarifying.
Yes, yeah, I would agree. And the other sections of code in other zoning districts also have size limits depending on the type of structure and the size of the parcel. And so we felt that this change in the law would clarify the law and make it easier for review from staff and for residents as well.
Okay, any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution carries. Resolution 215, determination of willingness to further consider Uptown Landing incentive zoning proposal, declaring intent to be lead agency for seeker purposes, referring the proposal to the Ontario County Planning Board, and setting a public hearing.
Second.
So look, just a little touch of discussion on this one. We just started a new projects tab on the website about this, the incentive zoning proposal this is all about, Uptown Landing. So hopefully the public can see that and see whatever is put in there before we get to the, September 23rd, public hearing on this. But this is definitely something that we wanted to have as much public input on as possible. And I wouldn't be surprised if we had more than one public hearing on it either. So, Chris, did you want to say anything further on this at all?
No, all this does is get this process started. I distributed to you, well, the first trigger is that you have a report from the planning board, which I distributed earlier today. There's no requirement as to how far in advance you have to have that. I think it says it's a thoughtful report, and I think it says exactly what you would imagine. We need some more open space on this site. Not a ton from the discussion of the planning board. We need some more streetscape and complete streets design, maybe some more trails. There's a section on Parkside Drive in front of the school district owned parcel that the applicant wasn't showing sidewalks on. It's not an extensive distance, and they seem to be okay with providing a sidewalk there during the planning board meeting. The planning board would request that. But what that planning board report allows you to do is set a public hearing to consider the adoption of the local law. This is an incentive zoning application, which is different than all of the other rezonings you've seen. The one incentive zoning application you've had never got this far. So this is the first time you've been here. Our code has some ambiguities. So the procedure about incentive zoning, there's nothing wrong with it. There's just some gaps where you could choose option A or option B. So I laid out a schedule, potential schedule that, this isn't binding on anybody. That can help everybody understand where we are in the process. So this resolution will allow you to direct me, meeting with our town manager and our town planner, to prepare local laws and a proposed incentive zoning agreement, spelling out some of the specifics. And then you can have a public hearing on that next month. And consider comments that you receive then, and decide how to proceed at the end of September, or the second meeting in September.
The thing you did not mention was the advisory board's, the planning board's recommendation that there be electric charging stations included. And I got a real issue with that. I don't think that we ought to be dictating or mandating where there's charging stations for electronic vehicles. And I don't think we ought to be sharing that cost across the board for those people that aren't using electronic charging vehicles. That would have been like when I first started driving, the town mandating where there were gas stations and where there weren't gas stations. And I got a real issue with that. So
Didn't they
I
have gas
support
stations before?
and am in favor of setting a public hearing for this, but I want to express loudly and hopefully my opposition to this.
To the.
To that one little
chargers.
part of the.
To
planning
that little
board.
part of it, the
Okay.
electronic charging station.
So
I don't think we ought to be in a business of mandating where they are, and I don't think we ought to be in a business of mandating who pays for them. And by virtue of this, the reality is that everyone in that development is going to be paying for those charging stations. Well, I wish everybody that lived in the town of Canandaigua helped me pay for my gasoline purchasing for my vehicle as well. So that's all I have to say about that.
Well, it's an advisory report. It's not necessarily
absolutely.
have to be accepted in totality.
Correct.
It doesn't have to be accepted at all.
Oh, yeah.
And won't we have these discussions when this comes up anyway,
The public hearing.
right, at the public hearing?
Yeah. I would prefer, right, well, you're not going to get a local law or an incentive zoning agreement draft until you have a little bit of a discussion on stuff like that. My intention and my request would be that you have a brief discussion about it now, so we can get a sense of what you'd like to see in a local law. Like, absolutely not on an EV chargers at the Blue Heron Park. Yes, or we think there's plenty of open space or whatever, but I need that to come from you guys to the extent that we don't have to break down. You're in favor of it, if you're not, if you think the amenities are sufficient, if you're willing to consider some of the things that the planning board said. This is the opportunity to make those recommendations to me so I can put it down in writing for you.
I don't disagree with John on EV chargers. There's a wealth of them out there right now. With all the car dealers, almost all have them. So is it a redundant thing on our part to mandate that? I would say yes.
But are you saying we need to provide that to you tonight?
I was
I
hoping. you
wasn't
would-
aware that.
I was hoping you would have a
Questions.
discussion tonight.
Yeah.
On the proposal, the incentive zoning proposal.
I wouldn't be ready to full
Yeah,
out discuss
I
it
do.
yet. I haven't had a chance to fully review what was sent back from the planning
Okay.
board, so.
But that discussion can also be held during the public hearing,
It
I mean, we'll
absolutely
be-
should be,
offering comments as well as the public.
absolutely.
I mean, I agree with the Georgie, a question I would have is that New York State is mandating certain things with housing going forward. A lot of these houses that are being proposed in this development are gonna be built after 2025. I thought that I had heard that after 2025, houses have to be, each house has to have provision for an electric vehicle charging.
Correct. Yes,
That along with sprinkling and some other requirements, so
yes.
Thanks for bringing that up.
I
that's.
believe that's true.
Because I think one of those mandates is that they no longer use gas as a form of heat.
Agreed.
And,
It's gonna be electric, it's,
you know, the state, local or state law just is increasing the cost of homes. And the developers are passing that increase in cost of homes on to the people that are buying them. So on one hand, the state's telling us that they support us creating workforce housing. But on the other hand, they're increasing the cost of workforce housing by making these mandates.
Absolutely.
And it's just not.
It's-
not right.
It's something our local representatives have been voting against and working hard to try and make that happen.
Anyway, this is just setting the public hearing, so.
We could also though encourage them to consider geothermal for certainly for the apartment complex, because that would be a lot cheaper for everyone eventually in the world of instead of just all electric in all the apartments, so. If they can't do gas.
I don't know if I agree with what you're saying, and I don't think what you're saying is necessarily accurate. They can use heat pumps versus geothermal, but
Yep, they can.
just the whole conversation.
We can't mandate that.
No,
Right.
I wouldn't want to make it.
Encourage you.
I just
Well-
encourage and explore it, you know, whatever.
I mean, this is incentive zoning. You're offering incentives in exchange for amenities that they're providing. If it was something, and I think Adeline suggested as, oh, this could be a good idea. You could do environmental or alternative energy sources as a required amenity. I don't think that's this board's intent or anything that's been contemplated. And that kind of thing does come up in incentive zoning sometimes. Not in situations like this.
Okay. Are we ready to vote? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. All right, the next one is resolution number 216, acceptance of the dedication of Pear Street Extension right of way associated with Pierce Brook subdivision sections 2A and 2B and related easements, and directing the town clerk to record documents at Ontario County Clerk's Office.
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Jim, everything looked hunky-dory over there?
It does.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 217, acceptance of the water main and utility maintenance bond for Quail Bush Phase 3.
Can I guess, go ahead, sorry.
And we'll-
Don't vote yet, please.
Okay, we have a motion to, anybody want a second?
Second.
Okay, yes, Chris.
And I apologize. I've reviewed this maintenance bond and worked with Crystal at the town clerk's office to get it approved and signed, and that made it on. And when I was reviewing the town board agenda last week, I saw that it was on here and then didn't notice the next resolution, which is on which the resolution in front of you is dependent. I just wanted, and I apologize, but Jim, this is ready for dedication.
This is
Swale Bush,
Whalebush is, yes.
is this? So who installed the water?
So that was installed by their contractor who Iverson hired.
Okay, oh, this is the news, got it.
Yep.
I don't believe that I've seen the dedication documents. I just searched through my email, it says the town attorney has reviewed. So I would ask, and their dedication documents are forms that I prepared. we've worked with this developer, I'm comfortable, but if you would say, take that out, make a motion to amend.
Do you want us to wait on passing the resolution for a month or?
I'm okay. if you
No,
do.
it's like 100 feet of water main. It's, yeah,
Okay.
it's a very small section. And they've been hanging out here for a couple of years now to get dedicated to us, so.
Yeah.
They fixed one small problem for me and it's been fine ever since.
It's a simple
It's
fix
just
on
a-
the next resolution, I just wanted to make sure you didn't pass this one. Before we address the next one. So I'm comfortable going forward with one change on the next resolution.
Anybody else on town board want to say anything? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Resolution 218, acceptance of the dedication of water main associated with Quail Bush Townhomes in Woodland Park Phase 3 and directing the town clerk to record documents at the Ontario County Clerk's Office.
So move.
Second.
I just noticed it says Woodland Park Phase 3.
Yeah.
Let's change that.
I don't know.
It might be Woodland.
There's no Woodland Park, that would be Creekwood Apartments. So I think that Woodland Park needs to be removed.
So we'd be making a motion to amend the. Resolution 2018 to change Woodland to Whale Bush. To remove the 1, 2, 3, 4th whereas paragraph. And to add subject to. Town attorney review and approval of the dedication documents. Anybody could say.
So we're removing in Woodland Park Phase 3 from the now book, therefore be it resolved, and the title.
Yes,
So
Yes.
just the words in Woodland Park Phase 3.
yes.
Is that the correct tax map identification?
Can't answer that without looking at it.
Should we check it?
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Sounds like we might want to check it.
Set that for me.
You keep going all this.
Yeah.
Like, you want to keep going with the resolutions while I.
Well, it's open, so we have to, we have to,
No, yeah.
Sorry.
we can have further discussions.
I was just thinking we could just.
How's everybody enjoying their summer?
But you'll do it today.
Carrie got a haircut.
Read me.
Sorry to make you check it. I just want to,
No,
you know.
very-
It's
very-
a
I just-
great spot.
That's it. So. We can figure it out with one of them. Miss Anthony, yes, those are correct.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. So everybody's comfortable where they are. And let me just make sure the attachment has the right wording. Yes, the attachment just says Quail Bush.
Those are correct.
Okay, so can I get a motion to amend it?
So moved.
As Chris indicated, a second of the,
Second.
all in favor of, can I approve as amended?
Aye.
Okay, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries as amended. Okay, resolution number 219, acceptance of soil erosion and control surety payments.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution 220, surety letter of credit acceptance for Creekview Apartments at Woodland Park, Phase 2, tax map 84 and change.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion?
When does, this scheduled to start? Do you know, what the-
Once you pass this, they're starting the second week of September.
oh, yeah, good.
Do they have any update on when that sidewalk is going in as part of Phase 2?
We made it clear at the pre-con meeting that that needs to be done ASAP. And I believe they're making accommodations to work on.
I would love to see that done before the end of the year.
They
Possible.
understood that. I just can't give you a date when it's getting done, but.
I know, you're
they
not
got
doing
that.
it.
They got that. They got that.
Okay,
Before it starts snowing.
great. Thank you for
If it's snowing.
advocating for that, Jim. Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution 221, adoption of a local law to override the tax levy limit.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And what local law number will that one be? Local law number 8 of this year. Okay, resolution 222, appointment of a full-time laborer for Jim.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Glad you were able to find somebody. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's see how long it lasts.
Resolution number 223, appointment of the transfer station operator.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Jim, you had said that we're still one short
Still
over,
one
so
short.
if anybody knows anybody who would like to be a transfer station operator, please tell them to come and apply.
$20 an hour.
There you go. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution 224, funding the student aid position.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution 225, accepting the resignation of the zoning inspector.
So moved.
Second.
We will miss Kristen. She made a nice impact in the town. Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution number 226, Office Specialist 1, salary amendment.
So moved.
Second.
Lindsay, did you want to speak to Tammy and?
Sure, absolutely. So with the resignation of our finance clerk to our part-time employee from a couple months ago and our zoning inspector, part of succession planning, we've been training our current office specialist 1 to be the backup for finance clerk 2 to help Jessica. And based on the current duties and how well she has been doing, her salary currently does not support the workload that she is accomplishing. What's nice about this though is we don't have to do any budget amendments or adjustments. The funds are already in the office specialist 1 line. So as far as retention, succession planning, this is a good choice for the town board to make tonight.
Perfect. Yes, Tammy's been a really nice impact on the entire operation, so happy to see her taking on even more, so. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution 227, authorizing the advertisement of bids for the town of Canandaigua Town Hall renovations project.
Moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excited to have some big changes around here soon. Resolution 228, accepting the resignation of zoning board of appeals member.
So moved.
Second.
I know, Mr. Casey wanted to say some words on behalf of Mr. Hillard.
Yeah, I think I worked with Bob for about 5 years or so on the zoning board of appeals, and I think we are losing a very valuable member. And I just personally would like to thank Bob for all of his work and service over the last 10 years, and he will be missed, and I'm sorry to see him go.
Yeah, he was also a member of the ordinance committee for a period of time.
Yes.
Did a great job on that too. He's a good man.
It's great. Yeah, he
Okay.
was a very big asset to the town. We have a lot to thank people who dedicate decades plus of their life to service of the town, so. Anything further on that one? All in favor? Aye. Okay, the next one, resolution 229, there was some misprints in this one that seemed to be large enough that we're gonna table that one indefinitely. And replace it with resolution 229A, which I think was handed to all of you. Could you pull, you've got it pulled up, thank you so much, so that's just some slight adjustments to it, nothing terribly substantive, but it was enough that it was easier to just write a new resolution as opposed to that. So do I need to make a motion on tabling it indefinitely, or do we just table indefinitely on 229? Chris?
I'm sorry. Sophia.
Do I need to make a motion to table 229 indefinitely, or do we just say we're tabling?
Say,
Okay, so we're gonna table 229 indefinitely. And then if somebody could make a motion on resolution 229A, the appointment of Jason Outhouse to the vacant position on the zoning board of appeals.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion on that one? His resume was attached, John, and I see those. Looks like he's got some great experience that'll be helpful on the ZBA. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome, Jason. Okay, next one is resolution 230, accepting the resignation of environmental conservation board member.
So moved.
Second.
And I can speak to Eric's tenure on the ECB as a former chair. He will be very missed on the ECB as well. He was always a very valuable member who did a lot of work outside of the meetings to prepare as well. So, any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Resolution 231, accepting the proposal from Labella Associates for professional services to update certain town maps associated with multiple adopted town planning documents.
So move.
Second.
There is going to be a small change on this one as well. If you look at the bullet points where it says the ag enhancement plan, the open space conservation, the NRI, and then there's a repeat of the open space conservation. Sarah, if you can unmute yourself, I think from looking at the attachments that last bullet should probably be strategic farmland protection area map. Is that what you're seeing as well, Sarah?
No, this is just listing the plans that are going to be impacted by the maps that are being proposed to be updated.
Okay,
So it just should be the 3 plans. Yeah, the 4th bullet was just an extra. It didn't need to be there.
Okay.
But yeah, so that list is listing the plans themselves. In the proposal, it details the maps more specifically. But I just wanted to make sure that the board understood that these maps are part of these plans and these plans are adopted. So if the board chooses to go forward with this, once those maps are finished, the board's going to have to take action to update the plans or accept the new versions of the maps. I think they're appendices anyway, but I just wanted to let you guys know that ahead of time. And this was the way I did it.
thank you, Sarah. I think that when I was at the conservation easement meeting last week before, those plans are going to be very helpful for a lot of the planning the entire town is doing. And there's been a lot of additions to our open space and ag protection that's happened since these plans were created. So, any further discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next one's resolution number probably 2023-232. I'm guessing. Since the last one was 231. This is appointment of the deputy town clerk full-time.
So moved.
Can I get a
Second.
Any discussion? I'd like to welcome Sarah. She should be starting in 2 weeks.
Got a vote on that, don't we?
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
I was getting there. That's my discussion.
Sorry about that. My bad.
Okay, approval of the town board meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from July 8th, July 18th, and July 22nd?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion of minutes? Thank you, town clerk. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And payment of the bills. Jerry, could you please read the bill amounts? Favorite part of the whole night.
Utility abstract dated 8/8/2024 totaling $27,874.98. General fund, $23,507.70. Highway fund, $695.18. Capital projects, $264.92. Lighting districts, $1,226.12. Water districts, $2,181.06. Town board abstract dated 8/26/2024 totaling $847,225.24. General fund, $351,637.94. Highway fund, $207,421.20. Capital projects, $138,813.93. Water districts, $149,352.17.
Thank you, June. Appreciate that. Other business, Chris, this is where you had something you wanted to bring up.
Yes, I was contacted last week by the general counsel for the ball companies who obviously, as you know, own and operate Trolley Station. They are looking at, and they also reached out separately to our town planner. Who happened to tell me they were looking at the Zero Parkside Drive. It's a parcel directly across Parkside Drive from Uptown Landing. It's also adjacent to Trolley Station. And so they had served a notice on the town and they were just calling to tell me about it. And they're looking to build 14 short-term transitional residences for individuals with a mental health diagnosis. They're required by law to notify the municipality. The municipality then has 40 days to either approve the site. This is not from a site planning standpoint. Approve the site, suggest one or more suitable sites, or object to the establishment of a facility because such a concentration of community residential facilities for the mentally disabled in the municipality or in the area of the site. I'm assuming that's not something anybody's interested in doing, is objecting.
Is this veteran housing as well with Trolley Station? It's
Could be.
typically veterans.
It's not what they're,
It's not.
this is nature of program, short-term transitional residence for 14 individuals with mental health diagnosis, providing housing, meals, skill building, and social activities and supervision. For the most part, this is a standard notification the town receives. I just thought it should be put in front of you, your 40 days to object if you wanted to object. Otherwise, unless you direct me to do so now, I'll send a letter saying, you know, the town board took no action on this notice. As a reminder, you're gonna have to go through site plan and follow our code. Make sense?
Yep.
That's all I had on that.
Okay, great.
Did you guys do a motion on
Got
Payment
it.
of
Vote.
bills. Oh, thank you.
So moved.
Can I get a motion to pay the
Second
bills?
checks.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
you?
That's what, you wanna pay the bills? Does it mean we don't have to pay our bills if we don't? Okay, that brings us to our last privilege of the floor. Anyone like to speak? First is Sharon.
Okay, Karen Parker's Laura Lane. And every year I bring up this subject. We're coming into weather getting worse than usual. We had a tornado last month, took out a bunch of electric poles down in the city of Canandaigua. I was without electricity for several days off and on. And I have an all electric house. I'm on Laura Lane and we have underground wiring. I bring this up every year because infrastructure is getting critical now when we're getting to the point where they're going to limit the use of natural gas and oil and fossil fuels, basically. So the house is on Laura Lane. The infrastructure on Laura Lane has been there for 52 years. And I've been in my house more than 50 years. Maybe 10 years ago, somebody came down there and put flags on the, you know, the green things that they have all the stuff in that's supposed to take care of this stuff. And I talked to the guy and he said, oh yes, we're going to be coming through and checking these things. Well, they never did. and my neighbors and I, we all took the flags down like a year later. They never showed up. So I have a friend, I'm on a board with a man who is high up in NYSEG and RG&E, and I asked him how long underground wiring is expected to be safe for use. And he said typically the upper limit is 50 years. We're there, folks, 50 years. How many developments in this town have underground wiring? Yours does, mine does, yours does. Many, and the newer ones. So mine is probably one of the older ones. And if they have proven that they cannot, I hate to say that they're not maintaining, but they're really not. They're not watching it. They're not, to me, they would be taking some due diligence and looking at this underground wiring and just ensuring that it's still safe and it's still useful. So I don't like going without electric because I don't have a generator. But I love an all-electric house and I don't ever want to change, even though there's natural gas on my street. So I'm asking, you are our representatives. I mean, I can call RG&E and actually I can get a supervisor sometimes, but it does me no good. They're not going to come out because I'm one person in one development and we only have like what, 38 houses on this street, 30, whatever it is. They need to hear from our town representatives that this is something that's critical and we have to start paying attention to it. Because all of this stuff, and we saw those poles come down on 5 and 20. And they were right there fixing them, right? What if something happens to the underground wires? Do you think they'll be right there fixing it? What do you think? Not in my lifetime. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, that's my yearly spiel on this underground utilities and maintaining them and ensuring that they're going to last another 50 years.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We really have no control, but we could author a letter to send to RG&E, on town of Canandaigua stationary supervisor, the whole board,
Okay.
saying, what's going on here, if that 50-year thing is true, I take your word for what the guy told you.
There's definitely been an increase in,
We want to know what's going on.
there's been an increase of power outages. I mean, even in my neighborhood, whenever she loses power, I do as well. Even in my neighborhood, I've been there for 15 years. I'd lost power once in the first 12 years and I probably lost it, 15 times in the last 3 or 4. So there's definitely
Wonder if that's
something.
coincidental.
I don't know, but it would be nice to hear an answer to that, so.
My house, we moved in there in 1984 and the house was built in 70, so it was the late 80s. The line, our house is 300 feet back from the road. The line blew, it's underground all the way up to the house. Blew out 3 times. The 3rd time, RG&E said, gotta be replaced. This guy had put in an aluminum line and aluminum cable and didn't bed it in sand or anything. He just kicked all the rocks and stuff back in. So over time, it got nicked and kept blowing out. But yeah, you without power in an all electric house, you got a problem.
That's right.
Well, in the interest of moving on during privilege of the floor, are there any other people that would like to speak for the privilege of the floor session? Okay, seeing no hands, then I guess our next is, would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn? There's no executive session requested tonight.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Karen, I just looked it up and it said 75 years to 110 years.